Hello and welcome to Times Now Digital. With the rising crude oil uncertainty due to West Asia war, India's logistics sector is at a critical turning point. From ethanol to EVs, the shift toward cleaner mobility has gained momentum. To understand how the industry is preparing for this transition, we are joined by Mr. Anand Mimani, CEO of Blue Energy Motors. Hello, sir, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Vikas. How are you?
Good, sir. Thank you for joining us. And to begin the conversation, first thing that I would like to understand from you that, we are talking about EVs and LNG for the heavy vehicles. So what current trend are you observing these days? Is the transition, heavily pushed by the sustainability goals, or is it a total cost saving measures, or both?
Well, as you know, India is a cost-sensitive country. Anything which happens over here, and if there has to be a big shift, it has to be based around the cost. So, definitely with the rise of diesel prices and everything and the concerns over diesel, there has been a mindset shift of everyone in the country, whether you say corporates or you say transporters or you say the government. And they are all saying that a shift is required. Now it is a need of the hour, an essential requirement which has become. So, and the costs, the transition related with transportation as an industry is moving towards LNG, EV, and other such fuels, which can be more cost sensitive to the industry.
So when we talk about these commercial vehicles, they have to travel at the long routes, and range is one of the factor that comes into play here. So how you are addressing that issue? If a commercial vehicle is moving completely towards EV, for example, then what range they are getting, and in terms of LNG, what range they are getting, and how this range issue can be resolved if they are moving toward these sustainable fuel options.
So, Blue Energy Motors, we have always believed that long hauls are very good with LNG as a fuel, and short hauls are very good with EV as a fuel. So, anything which has a range of up to 500 kilometers going, coming, or you can say one way at best, uh, we believe EV is a good solution because with a 282 kilowatt battery or today's date, if you see with a 376 kilo battery or a 450 kilo batteries which are there, EV vehicles can move very conveniently. Uh, Heavy duty vehicles like 55 ton, which the range in which we are. And today we are also going ahead and putting up swap stations where it takes about 5 minutes for the batteries to get changed. So every 125 kilometers, we are putting up the swap stations, and so that the range anxiety gets killed. So up to 500 kilometers of going, coming, these are the either the heavier batteries are taken or through the help of swap stations which are taken, the range issue gets comfortably reduced in EV vehicles. But yes, beyond a point, like if somebody has to go to 1,000 kilometers all the way from say Kandla port to New Delhi or from JNPT port to New Delhi or to Bangalore or Chennai, somebody has to go. LNG, we believe, is a good fuel that on one fill, we've got two types of vehicle, which does about 1,000 to 1,200 kilometers, and the other type of vehicle, which is the double tank vehicle, which does about 2,000 to 2,400 kilometers of range. So with one fueling, today the vehicles are moving all the way from Mumbai all the way to Odisha also, and coming back in LNG vehicles, and they are comfortably deployed and running in the country. And EV, as I said, are good for the short hauls, which are there.
So when we are talking about transitioning towards the electric trucks, because EV transition is something that the government is also working heavily, and we all are also willing to see the EV vehicles flying on our roads. And if it comes to commercial vehicle, then anyhow it is going to help in sustaining our environment. So when we are transitioning towards the EV trucks completely, for example, then how do you see that cost parity with the diesel trucks can be achieved without any government support? Because at the end of the day it's all about the business. So how that cost parity can be achieved according to you?
Today, as you see, diesel is approximately 100 rupees and still going up today in the country. If you compare it with LNG or with EV, the overall TCO working, we believe, is better than diesel in both the cases, whether you use an LNG vehicle or you use uh, an EV vehicle. Uh, the cost of electricity given by the states, excepting for Maharashtra, I would say Maharashtra is being the highest today. But yeah, but all the other states, if you see, is anywhere between the range of 6 to 8 rupees mostly. And with that kind of an electricity cost, uh, EV vehicle TCO is working out better, at least by 10%, plus minus, depending on the route, range, and everything. It goes as high as 10 to 15% in the heavy duty segment. In the case of LNG, is you can also say because LNG is a better fuel, it's a much cleaner fuel, and it gives a better fuel mileage efficiency. And the cost of LNG is approximately 80 85 rupees today in the country. So yes, there is a good TCO advantage to all transport companies that you can find when they are moving this shift.
Let's try to understand now from the transporters point of view only. So can you share that how much fleet operators can save per kilometer by moving from this diesel truck to LNG or electric solution, if you have any calculation in your mind?
See, it all has to be worked out on the route and the kind of loads that you are getting. When you're deploying EV and LNG vehicles, as these vehicles are more expensive, as I said, the capital cost is higher. The support from the corporates that the queuing of the trucks outside their doors should not happen. A more rounding, a faster turnaround of the trucks are very, very important so that they can carry more loads and everything. If that all is there, we believe at least a 10% saving minimum should happen uh, in the case of deployment of whether it is LNG or whether it is EV, route to route and mission profile dependent.
Sure, sir. Let's get more into the detail in terms of cost saving, because I would like to understand from the consumer point of view also. Let's take a very basic example. So if these transporters are moving towards EV or LNG system from the current diesel, so how much different these electric trucks can make to the final prices that the consumers pay for their everyday goods, because these FMGs products, groceries, essentials are mostly moved by these heavy vehicles only. Just a basic mathematics, if you can share that in terms of percentage, how much can our consumers, expect to get in terms of reduction if we are changing the method of transportation?
As I said, on today's date, because the capital cost is high, how much the transporter will be able to pass, because even he will have to see cost of financing is also higher in comparison to diesel vehicles of today's date on EV vehicle. Funding is not easily available on electric vehicles because today's date, if you buy one electric vehicle heavy duty of a 55 ton, it is approximately 90 lakh rupees or so. And if you buy a diesel vehicle of a 55 ton, it's about 30 lakh rupees. So it's three times the cost. And the rate of interest on a diesel vehicle is about 8.5%, whereas EV vehicle, the financing institutions are giving at about 10.5% or so. So and these are again long-term, 7-year EMIs that. So how much will he pass to the consumer? uh, I mean, if he has a 10%, how much he wants to share with it purely depends on how much he is willing or reluctant to share. But yes, overall TCO with the diesel is better. And this is something which it depends on the consumer, wholesale buyers, or the transporter, as well as the corporates. It's a it's a combination which they will have to work it out between themselves. But if
Sir,
they want to pass, I mean, sure, they can pass something out of that 10%.
one follow-up to this, like EV trucks are, as you mentioned, 3 times higher as compared to the diesels which are already available. financing is also a little expensive. Then what do you think can push these fleet owners more towards EV and LNG in coming years from the line?
Only two things I mean, easier financing to be made available, capital costs to be reduced, if possible, for which we have already made one kind of an effort. For example, Mumbai Pune as a corridor, we have built it. We put up swap stations over there. We have taken the battery on our own books, and we have reduced the cost of the vehicle. So today's date, if anybody wants to deploy the vehicles between JNPT to Pune or JNPT to Bhiwandi or Mumbai Pune as a corridor, the cost of an EV vehicle is about 50 lakh rupees in comparison to a 30 lakh rupee diesel vehicle cost. So what have we done? We have removed the range anxiety by putting up swap stations. We have made battery nothing but a part of the swap station and energy as a service. So it's a fuel. Instead of diesel, you're getting a battery. Battery anxiety technology change tomorrow. What happens? We have taken it on our books as an OEM, and we are now telling the transporters, you have a 50 lakh rupee vehicle, buy it, deploy it, run it, concentrate on your business of transportation, and try to take things to a different level. So every method is being tested by us, what can work better and how it can put better inroads. But definitely, if the institutions like all the banks like SBI, HDFC, ICICI, Kotak, Axis, they all start funding in the same manner EV vehicles and LNG vehicles like they do for diesel, it's a much more stronger push that can happen to the transporters because ease of financing becomes very comfortable to them. Secondly, I mean, from a government point of view, if you ask, the government is, as it is, doing their best in trying to push it, but every business has to be sustainable. So, from a government point of view, if the electricity power availability can be made more easily available across the country, along the highways and everything, that would put in more confidence to all the transporters also that yes, electricity availability is not a challenge because some places I'll put up a swap station, but some places you also need gun chargers and quality of electricity and everything is very, very important. That 24 by 7 availability of the electricity is there. Because otherwise, if you have to run those gun chargers or something with diesel generators, you are back to square one. So quality of electricity being provided all across the highways and at a right cost is something which that can be supported by the government for better inroads of electrical vehicles being deployed across the country. With these two things and a little bit on account of as a general push that what like Maharashtra government has done to say that anybody buying the first 1,000 vehicles, they're giving some 15% off as an incentive, as a drive for people to venture out, buy these vehicles, deploy it, test it, run it, and more and more community can get attracted towards it. So similar initial such push, if every state government does it, would be a good push towards electric vehicles that the transporters and the corporate communities can give a stronger push for people to buy and deploy these vehicles. So these two, three small things like financing, like electricity being made available, and maybe some incentive to just boost up uh, the complete country and bring more sensitivity into it would definitely drive it faster.
Well, the road towards electric mobility is gaining momentum, and coming years will determine how quickly India's freight sector can move beyond diesel dependence. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your valuable time and sharing these valuable inputs and talking to Times Now.